Yo, Jean Shadow, y'all good. Hello, everyone, y'all good. And he thinks he's smarter than you, but yeah, let him say, 2053 is Revelations of Yolku, who reveals the heaven, Pais, and his four-headed King Cobra, and all your alien and demon forces arrive on planet Earth and aliens. And then you see, we verse, Pais's group, verse the Thai and the Chinese, and right there, 9,000 Thai demi-hawk god deities murdered in broad daylight. And the fucking Chinks lost 4,000 tiger dragons, 4,000 Chinese dragons, missing, serpent vipers missing. That's true. And then you understand you murdered 14 billion of my spirits in the blue skies. But watch this, woman. I carry on my green swords and I cut open your woman and your fucking husband's head. And then I win. Paisan won. That's true. Me win. And the dumbass didn't believe you, Pai. About 9 days. And then 4 billion souls missing from China. That's true. Paisan swung sword already all good. You see Paisan with the green sword. Real. Real. Pai murders your fucking Chinese in broad daylight in China. And the Paisan faster and light. 4 billion souls gone in 9 days. In the fucking Middle East, same thing. They think they smart. Them are gutted. Them are gutted. 4 hours, and it was 12 billion missing in the Middle East. That's true. And then Pai said, you think you're anything special, Ukraine, but we'll wait for the Ram, Grandpa. That's true. That's true. Because they have women down there. That's true. That is their European nation. And Paisan, you see what happened? Right there in Norway and Swiss. And then right there, you have the ram demons, the horn demons are morphing, and then they laugh, and then right there, biggest fight scene, the grandpa came out and punched the lamb and said, hello, lamb, you're head of a tiger. Boom, punches him normal. And it was 4 hours of, regular fights. Regular quarrel. It's normal. The dumbass didn't understand. It's mediocre, leaving on the ass show. Både Sanjay Kanta Kotuna thought they to London. Was it? There's another demon that appears in the blue skies. If you dare enter London, you'll get gutted. Chinese or any other Southeast Asians. That's 100% law. That's true. 2 hours, they didn't believe you. They were gutted right there in London. 100% is doing nice. Yeah. And they'll be in 2053. 2053. The cleansing, the genocide for those Vits, Chinese, and Lao, and Burmese. They'll be able to know 8 years, of murder right there on Earth. Real. You'll see demons and Pai laughing in the blue sky and on YouTube telling you the norms. That the four-headed King Cobra Pais and not love you. You dies in the Book of Law, and the other genocide is won by Africans. That's real. It's real. And 2 fucking hours of that, the women went in hid and said, human God's not one. Of course we die. That's true. That's true. And look at that, 2 hours of you cutting open that fucking filthy fat bitch Burmese. The swirly eye hawk is released, and then those are your version. You hug, 100% video. It was 4 hours of that. You laugh because the Thai gods captured it every time it arrived on the Earth's atmosphere because the Thai gods have better technology. That's true. And so they kept robbing Pai's poor nation. Right there, Pai, you re-edited the technologies, and right afterwards, Pai, you deleted Thai. That's true. And then right there, Pai not tell you what happened to Thai gods, because later on, Pai used to murdered a bunch of them. That's true. And look at how graphic Pai. It was 9,000 Thai god deities. Half human and half hawk in the blue sky, wearing gold and green uniform, dying, and then 9 hours of them dying right there in Vietnam too. That's true. And then Pai told you the truth. Do you understand why Pai didn't give a fuck? Because Pai is the progenitor. And then Pai simply pointed to the hawk that are 600,000 years old. In 2025 year, the progenitor of the Cambodians and all those fucking weird hawks. And you won Pai accurate. And then he says the same thing. What the fuck is you doing now? Are you trying to kill poor Pai? Oh, then you dies. You dies. 3-4 hours. They went down and they were murdered by Pai. That's true. Because the progenitor, the swirly hawk, said, oh, you want my son dies, then I kill all you, because you're too overpopulated and you're not really our dragon nation. He was a sick experiments with fights with Egypt and Aztecs and India. And Indian guys, that's true. In 3 hours, the fucking kid never learned by it. The Malaysians came from the fights with the Indian guys. That's true. Yeah, that's true. They were not originally yellow guys. That's true. Yeah, that's true. The dumbass didn't believe you, Pi. When it was created from inbreeding with one of your light skinned Burmese sisters, they took it and then they bred with it, and then right there they kept coming out with it, and then later on in life it moved to Aztec. Yeah, it moved to Brazil. That's true. Yeah, that's true. And later on, it became Malaysia. That's true. Yeah, that's Malaysia, mom and dad. And what it went from was the cobra, the upper torso, human, the tail, the legs, cobra. And then right there, that's what it won from. Yeah, but it is not Pi's people. Pi's people have Hawk, and then those. That's true. Yeah, that's true. And those are actually new. Yeah, those are actually quite new aliens. That's true. It was planet Earth that generated the human and then the legs into the cobra tail. And so those are technically not Pi. Yeah, they're not Pi. Pi's yellow ancestors came down and created Pi, and then they were with the one-headed cobra. Later on in life, they generated 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then Pi became Pi. The dumbass never understood. Why would you dare call those, Pi? Them are stupid. Yeah, them are stupid, because if you call it, they look like Pi. Yeah, their physical traits are like Pi. That's true, yeah. That's why they made fun of you, small head. That's true, yeah, that's true. 2 hours, they didn't believe you, Pi. The grandparents and grandpa of yellow children, they have Pi's forehead and physical traits. They came right back down. They went, what the fuck is you? What generation of fights? And right there, they went, oh, you think you're those? And then they got it. Yeah, they got it. Yeah, they got it. And then they laughed their heads off with Pi. That's true, yeah. And you see how stupid that shit is, Pi. 4 fucking hours of him not know that his Malaysian goddess passed away 6,000 years ago. And then he has no idea. All he has left is a grandpa. Yeah, the grandpa. Yeah, the grandpa. The torso human, the tail, a dragon, yeah. Some kind of amphibious lizard-like cobra. That's true. And Pi, you won Pi up. And the dumbass didn't believe you, Pi. Them cried for 9 hours when they saw you murdered God, Hawk Delties, and then 3 hours of them running by. Yep, you see chunks of the fucking hawks. Yep, the head and the intestine, everything. Yep, on Earth, all over Southeast Asia. Yep, 4,000 are murdered. That's true. Yeah, 9,000. And same thing with the Chinese vipers. Yeah, the Chinese viper demons. 4,000 of them are murdered in chunks throughout China. That's true. In Vietnam, that's true. And then you understand Pi's spirits and demons are a lot faster. Yeah, faster than level 20. Yeah, level 20 something. Later on in life, he cries alone, Pi. He didn't believe you. Yeah, he didn't believe you. And right there, Pi not say. Yeah, Pi not say. And Pi Eason, it was 4 hours of that, and then the lamb comes out. And then he shouts, if you're not with Pi, get out of here. Yeah, get out of here. That's true. Because you dies, that's true. And lamb enters the field, Pi up, normal, green ladies to walk, yeah. No, both are Pi. It was there that their stupid little Malaysian bitch is revealed, and Pi gutted her. Yeah, Pi gutted her. Pi laughed. I said, fly down, and then Pi cut her up with this sword he has me do. Yeah, about 4 hours, huh? Look at Kia. Come look at the magic wand. Yeah, Pi took the magic wand. Pi stuck it through her head all the way through the torso. Yeah, 100%. And then Pi vaporized her. Yeah, Pi light her up. That's true. Right there in the blue sky, and Pi flies off. That's true. Yes, me do. Yeah, welcome. And he said, Pi said, he's so scared of you. The fucking bat demon scream and knew it. Pi is the four-headed king cobra. That's true. Yeah, that's true. And he says, Pi, what makes you better than them? Not tinfoil brain booty lecture, but real Borgon electricity in the brain fluids. That's true. Correct metal. Yeah, correct metal alloy. That's true. Very graphic in China, Pi. Him is tinfoil. Him's inferior error, and it dies. Yeah, that's 100% norms. That's true. Yeah, I'm watching. Look at